Woolly mammoth. The story of the woolly mammoth begins on the frozen plains of Ice Age Europe, Asia, and North America, where it wandered in herds built to survive brutal cold. This massive relative of modern elephants carried thick layers of fat under a shaggy coat of fur that could grow over a meter long. Its curved tusks stretched more than 4 meters, useful for sweeping snow aside to reach the grass hidden underneath. What's wild is that woolly mammoths didn't vanish all at once. While most died out around 10,000 years ago, a small population survived in isolation on a remote Arctic island for thousands of years longer, only disappearing about 4,000 years ago. Frozen specimens pulled from the permafrost have been so well preserved that scientists have studied their skin, hair, and even the last meal sitting in their stomachs. And if you thought the mammoth's survival story was impressive, wait until you see what's coming up later on this list. One of these animals had a defense so strange predators didn't even recognize it as food. Go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next, because at the end of this video, I've got a question for you. Whoever spots the detail and answers correctly in the comments gets featured at the start of our next video. Here are the first winners who got it right last time. Congratulations to all of you, and let's keep going. Saber-toothed cat. Often mistaken for an oversized tiger, the saber-toothed cat was actually part of its own distinct branch of the cat family, instantly recognizable by canine teeth that could grow up to 18 centimeters long. It roamed across the Americas, using powerful front legs to pin down large prey like bison and young mammoths before delivering a precise, fatal bite. The strange part is that those famous teeth were surprisingly fragile, prone to snapping if the angle of the bite was even slightly wrong. The species disappeared around 10,000 years ago, likely a victim of a shifting climate and the collapse of the large herds it depended on to survive. Dodo. Found only on the remote island of Mauritius, the dodo stood about a meter tall and had spent so long without natural predators that it had no instinct to fear anything approaching it. That fearlessness became a fatal flaw the moment sailors arrived in the 16th century, bringing rats, pigs, and dogs that tore through its ground-level nests. In less than a century of human contact, the dodo was completely gone. Its name has since become shorthand for anything hopelessly behind the times, though in life it was simply an animal that never got the chance to adapt.
You guys should stop using my name as object of mockery, goddammit!
Irish elk. Despite its name, this animal wasn't confined to Ireland, and it wasn't technically an elk either. It was a giant deer that once roamed across Europe and parts of Asia. Its most jaw-dropping feature was a pair of antlers spanning up to 3.5 meters across, the largest of any deer species ever recorded. Growing and carrying antlers that massive demanded enormous amounts of energy and minerals, which likely left the species vulnerable once the climate shifted and food became scarce. It vanished roughly 7,000 years ago, but its skeleton still stopped people in their tracks with just how absurd those antlers really were.
Hey humans, if you get this message, fuck y'all. Say it back in the comments.
Thylacine. Nicknamed the Tasmanian tiger for the dark stripes running across its lower back, the thylacine was a marsupial predator that looked something like a cross between a dog and a wolf, though it wasn't closely related to either one. It once lived across mainland Australia before surviving mainly on the island of Tasmania, hunting birds and smaller mammals for food. Farmers blamed it for livestock losses and hunted it relentlessly, and the last confirmed individual died in a zoo in 1936. Occasional reported sightings still pop up in remote areas today, though not a single one has ever been confirmed. We've covered giants, Ice Age survivors, and animals wiped out in the blink of an eye. Here's a question for you. Which of these animals survived thousands of years longer than the rest of its species, isolated on a remote island long after the mainland population vanished? Leave your answer in the comments.